Hi, I'm Michael Lodi here with Coach Boswell. How you doing today, Coach?
Good, Michael. How are you?
I'm doing well. Last week you guys played Germantown. What were some things that you guys did in preparation for that game?
Number one, just going like on the road, trying to handle the environment that you go into, things that you can control, and we talk about all the time. You know, we can't control the facilities, we can't control the dressing rooms, we can't control officials. Germantown, all we can do is what we do and control us. And you know, for the most part, I think our kids did a really good job of going there and handling business and getting a division win on the road.
Were there any key things that you guys noticed during the game?
Uh, no, I don't think. I think we wanted to start a little bit faster than we did, and you know, our kids went down and scored early, but I think the second drive we had to punt and back up a little bit, and then you know our kids responded coming out in the second half. They did good. Second quarter they did really well, but in the second half they kind of put it away early and handled their business and let some of the younger kids play, which that was a really big thing to get them some playing time as well.
Yes, sir. Your D line played very well that game. Do you think they helped set the tone for that game?
Yes, I think up front, you know, we have a potential to be really good up front on both sides of the football. And defensive line is probably one of the strongest areas when they play, and like they did the other night, those guys came out and they were ready to go. And that was kind of a bigger running team, more so than passing, which that's a really good matchup for us. You know, we feel like we're pretty good against the run. Still have some work to do in the secondary on passing teams, and but it starts. That's where it starts is up front. So the defensive line did a really good job for us the other night.
One of you guys' key thing is clock management. How do you think you guys performed with clock management last game?
I think it was really good. I think you know for the past 2 weeks of playing, I think we've done really well with that. You know, the week before with Brandon, I think we did an unbelievable job with clock management. And it's not going to be an exception this week. Playing a very athletic team in Starkville, we're going to try to control the clock, and that works to our advantage as well. And I think we're pretty good at running the football. I think we use every second of the play clock that we can use. You know, so I think our coaches and our kids do a really good job of understanding and using the play clock.
One of the key things that you emphasize is momentum. Was there a certain point in the game that you think you guys took the momentum?
Um, I think it kind of went back and forth for the first quarter, I do believe, and you know, I think in the second quarter, um, I think we made some plays to. I think Vishon Malone made a big play, and I would say kind of around the second quarter, I think the momentum kind of shifted. Now, when it came out at halftime, you know, we were everybody was expecting an onside kick, so we moved them up, got them in position, and you know they made a really good onside kick, and that was a chance for momentum to swing with them, and our kids responded and did a really good job of holding them out, of giving 7 points, and I think that that was a really big turn in momentum as well. They come out and get the ball, and our kids did a really good job responding to that. So I would say first drive offensively for us or defensively for us in the second half was a big momentum swing.
The way your kids respond, is that something that you try to emphasize to them, their response to certain situations?
Yes, and you have to be able. You know, you can't be too high, you can't be too low in any situation. And we talk about that all the time. We talk about there's the momentum factor, and how you handle that, and can you ride that wave? And when the other team has it, you got to find some way to get it back. And yeah, you have to be even all the way through. I want them to be excited, want them to make big plays and enjoy that, but at the same time, remember, you know, 30 seconds from there, you got to run another play. You know, so have to be locked in and laser focused on each and every attempt that we have.
Last week against Brandon, you said one thing you wanted to replicate was the intensity. How do you think your guys' intensity was against Germantown?
I think it was okay. I don't think it was the same, just because you know, being honest, the level of competition, you know, you've heard, don't play down to competition. Okay, we don't get a chance to play a lot of teams that are not real good. Germantown I think, was a pretty good team, but they're nowhere in the same vicinity as Brandon. Okay, so they're all big games, but you know, when a number one team in the state rolls in here, it's a little bit bigger atmosphere, and you want your kids to respond to that. This week, you got an unbelievable team in Starkville coming in here, very, very athletic. Um, they are always athletic. They're always more athletic than everybody they play. So, you know, our intensity's got to be really high this week, and we have to make sure that we come out kind of with our hair on fire on this one.
You guys got your first district win. What was it like getting the first district win of the season?
Well, that's the number one goal. You know, you play these tough teams early to try to prepare for all the tough teams you have in the division. So that's the number one thing is you want to be able to go out and get a win in division. So we accomplished that. Okay, so we're sitting there trying to go 2-0, which is really huge right now in our division. If you go 2-0, you set yourself up down the road to be very successful. You give yourself a lot better chance. And on the flip side, Starkville's 0-1. They're trying to keep from going 0-2. So it's a very important ball game for them as well. So that's why we have to approach it. This is the only thing that really matters is trying to find a way to get a W Friday night.
One of the things you've been talking about that you want to see improvement in is tackling. How do you think your guys' tackling has changed since the beginning of the season?
Well, I think they've gotten better. I don't think they're a finished product. They're not where we want them to be at this point, or where we want them to be eventually. And I think football has changed. So you can sit there and watch film on all these other people. Nobody's very good tacklers in the secondary. Okay, why I don't know. We work on it more and more. We put an emphasis on it, and we have gotten better at that. That's something that we have to do really well this week because Starkville has a lot of athletes. They get them in space, and we're going to have to be able to make open field tackles. So I think we've gotten better at that, but at the end of the day, I don't think anybody's just really great at tackling, especially in the secondary.
You say self-control and not letting outside factors affect you. Would you say, is that the biggest thing that a team could face, like problems?
Yeah, absolutely. And we use this example, like these kids, like the kids that football is year-round. A lot of these sports are getting to be year-round. These kids dedicate their time, their effort, everything they have. They dedicate it to being there and being a part of a program, and they can't let outside noise pull them down where somebody may not have anything to lose can try to pull some of these kids down. We don't want them to be in that situation because they kind of have to set the standard. We tell our kids that we want them to set the standard in how they go about the day when they walk in Friday with their blazers on, okay? The eyes are on them at that point. So we want them to represent us well, and we have a lot of kids. We have a lot of kids in the program, but behavior and outside noise that can't. But we don't have time. We don't have any room for error when it comes to that. So we have to be like laser focused on what we're doing down there. So yeah, no, we want to make sure that we keep the outside things outside, and we control what we talked about earlier. We control what we can control, and that is us. And for the most part, our kids have done a good job, and we always want to improve in that.
What are some things that you guys have been doing this week, to prepare you for this game this Friday?
Well, number one is we're trying to make sure that we use the athletes that we have and get them in space and make those guys tackle in space as well. And I think our offensive and defensive staff has done a really good job of putting together a game plan on the best way to attack Starkville, and it's kind of up to the kids right now to go out there and execute it. So execute at a high level, play with that intensity, grab the momentum and keep it, and it's things like that you can make sure you win a ball game, and a huge division ball game if our kids do that. And I think they've done a really good job this week of doing that.
Do you think being able to execute on big plays, do you think that comes from practice and repetition?
Yes, absolutely. I think it does. I think, and at that time, you know, if it's a big play, if it's a chunk play, it's a huge yardage play, you know, it's either a busted coverage, unbelievable execution by our kids, or it's a special player making a special play. Okay, I think all three of those it can be, talking about a deep ball. I'm talking about a 25-plus yard run, you know. And I think we're very capable of that. I think Jacoby Calvin, Juan Taylor, Kyler Hutton, Vishawn Malone, Jordan Batee, all those guys bring a factor of making big plays. And they just have to take advantage of the opportunities that they get. And I hope we see some big plays tomorrow night.
Yes, sir. I hope we see some big plays tomorrow night, too. Thank you, Coach, for the interview. Wish the best of luck for you Friday.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate you.
Thank you.